Okay, so I have been doing pretty terribly on picking up the camera, and yes, I am now back in the Bay Area. Um, I'm out of Vegas. I'm done. I'm out. I do have to admit that I have been pretty bad at picking up the camera. There's a lot of things I could have filmed out there to make some content that I just ended up not doing. Like, I barely even brought my camera out with me. And so to make up for that, I'm just gonna do a little yearly review, reflect on this year, because I was meaning on doing this yearly review template on my notes app from this podcaster that I quite often listen to. His name is Chris Williamson. He has like this yearly review template that again I was gonna do on paper or just typing it out, but I figured that it would make a pretty nice section of this video, of this New Year's video. And so I'm just going to be answering the questions just on camera. And then in the future, I could look back at this video and see how I'm doing, how I have lived up to the expectations that I set for myself at the beginning of the year. So, to start, the first question is, how has this year gone? Okay, very broad question. I think this year has gone very well. This was the year that I graduated high school, so class of 25, and I'd say I did kind of feel a little bit sad, I guess, for leaving high school, just because of the thought that, oh, I'm never gonna see some of these people again. But then when I really thought about it, and when the time actually came to depart ways from the people that I've grown up with and the people that I've spent most of my life with and the people that I've like grown closer to, right? At first I thought I would be sad. But then when I really thought about it, it's like, I'm still gonna see these people. I mean, like, if they really are close to me, if they really are such important parts of my life, then I'm going to see them again no matter what, right? Which I have. I've seen majority of the people that I have kind of bonded with. A lot of them, I feel like I have bonded with late into high school. Like, a lot of my friends now, like, I was not friends with them 2-3 years ago. And I guess the reasoning behind that could be a whole separate video of like my own personal journey, but like a lot of my friends, like I have seen over the summer, I've seen when they've come back for break, so it was nice. It was nice seeing my friends. Again, like before grad, like I did kind of feel sad about leaving them, but again, I just kept thinking that like I'm going to see them eventually. And there's also social media still. And obviously, I still talk to them on social media. I see them post. I text them, send reels, things like that. Second question, what went well? I think was definitely my own personal development journey. I think me at the start of the year and me now is slightly different. Well, I would hope so, that it's different in a good way, but I think there's a lot of mental changes that were made, and overall, I feel like just my own self-improvement is just kind of like ever since I'd say maybe sophomore year of high school, it just kept going up. So I think that's something that went well this year specifically. I think I had like an exponential increase this year, definitely, in almost, I'd say, every realm of my life. And I want to keep that going into 2026. Just keep on working on myself, keep on striving to become a better person, keep on doing the good habits that get me to the level of success that I want to be at. And then moving on to the third question, which is the exact opposite, is what went badly. I think definitely one thing that went badly is just procrastination. There's a lot of things that I procrastinated with. That includes schoolwork, that includes content. You know, it's been a few months since I last uploaded. I feel like I waste a lot of time. That's definitely something I have to get better at. And it's not just in like work ethics also where I've been procrastinating. I think I have been procrastinating a lot in just the goals that I set for myself, because I just always say that I want to do something, but then when the opportunity comes for me to actually take that step forward, I don't move at all. And that's definitely something that has went badly. But I guess that does kind of translate into the next question, which is, what lessons did I learn? Definitely, I'd say one of the biggest lessons that I've learned this year is to stop living in my head. I don't really like to label myself as an overthinker because that's just gonna, like, I guess, kind of reinforce the belief in me that I am an overthinker. And so I try to strive away from that. So and maybe to explain it in other words, there's this concept that I came up with, or I didn't come up with, but something that I try to kind of live by is this thing called post-action clarity, where like you get clarity over a situation that you were once like kind of stuck on after you take that initial step. For example, my junior year during track and field season, this is actually where I came up with the concept, but I just had this big dilemma of if I should keep on doing track or if I should quit track. I wanted to quit track because I wanted to pursue off-season wrestling. That was my main sport. That was what brought me the most fulfillment and joy. It was fun doing it. And so I would rather do that than to do track and field, which was a sport that I wasn't necessarily in love with. I didn't really like track, and I also wasn't very good. I'm going to be honest, but I also didn't want to quit because I guess just over my time wrestling, I've instilled this belief to just never quit on something, and that has both done wonders for me, and I've also kind of set me back in life. In some cases, and it was more so of an ego thing because I knew that I should have quit because it was the better choice, was to just quit and pursue something that I actually liked, but my ego made me not want to. And then once I actually like grew a pair and actually walked up to the coach, like I didn't message him, I didn't digitally reach out to him, I straight up just went to practice. I walked up to him, I was like, hey coach, I was thinking about pursuing off-season wrestling instead. It's just something that I care more about. And he was totally fine about it. And after I did that, I realized that you get the most clarity not from trying to overanalyze something and trying to think of what the best possible option or what the best possible outcome could be. You get the most clarity from actually taking that step. And once you actually get the results, that's where you get the clarity to know that that the decision you made was the right one or not. And it's also starting to rain. Fuck. Why is it raining, bro? I literally drove here just so I could record this in a nice aesthetic place. Just for it to rain. Are we serious? I didn't even get to record my B-roll yet. Let me record that right now. Bro, are we serious? I did all that for nothing? I drove all this way. I drove 30 minutes for nothing, just for it to rain. Am I able to just like sit down and like do some work, like some homework?
Yeah, feel free.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Well, we are back in business. Just at some like cafe, restaurant type of thing. Super nice. I'm just gonna make it look like I'm doing something and not talking to a camera. So, gotta pull up the laptop to cover my camera because I'm still getting used to this filming in public thing. But yeah, where's a better place for the camera? Maybe here? Oh yeah, this is nice. Okay. Oh my gosh. So I wrote everything down. Like I wrote down all of the questions on this notebook, and the rain messed it all up, bruh. But it's okay. Where was I? Oh, I think I was on what lessons did I learn. Pretty much just that main thing that I was talking about. We're just, instead of overthinking and trying to overanalyze everything, is to just put your best foot forward, right? Like the worst thing that could happen is like you fucking die, right? Like that's the worst thing, and it's also the lowest probability thing that could happen. So really just take chances, take that risk. There's that saying where you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So that pretty much applies to everything, and to just always bet on the best outcome to happen. And really just the moral of the story, to just keep on striving to put your best foot forward. Even if you step in the wrong spot, just the intent that you had of that taking this decision will better my life, that's all that really matters, just as long as you tried. That's I'd say is the main lesson that I learned from this year off the top of my head. But moving on to the next question. What habit or system accounted for most of my success? I think the habit / system that accounted for most of my success is training in the morning. Waking up early and just going straight to the gym. I think that has been a pretty good system that has been working throughout this year, especially in Q4. Q4 of 2025 was probably my most consistent that I've ever been in the gym, and I have to credit that to just going to the gym first thing in the morning. I think just getting like a hard task such as going to the gym and lifting weights out of the way first thing in the morning kind of sets the day or sets the tone of the rest of the day, because you start your day off doing something that's difficult, something that's hard, but yet it's fulfilling and it's relatively good for you, right? So you start your day off with a hard win, with a hard W. So that just kind of paves the momentum for the rest of the day, and I just found that I feel so much better, both physically, mentally. I just feel a lot better when I go to the gym in the morning, and when I wake up early, when I eat clean food after, it feels good. So I think that's definitely something that has kind of been the most impactful, I'd say, in my daily routine. And so the next question is, what are the most valuable ways I spend my time? Well, I think just like the last question, going to the gym has probably been a pretty productive way. And I think another thing that has been extremely valuable this year was listening to more podcasts. And I do know that that's probably a very, boring thing to say, and it might not sound important, but for me, it's been life-changing. I wouldn't say I don't listen to music no more, but I have replaced a lot of the times that I would listen to music with a podcast, and that could just be walking, driving, walking in a grocery store, and just doing mundane, basic tasks, like doing chores, doing homework. Times that I would be listening to music, I just replace it with a podcast. And sure, listening to music does kind of spike your dopamine, makes you feel good, depending on the music that you're listening to. But I think by listening to a good podcast, something that actually inspires you, something that actually educates you, something that actually kind of adds some meaningful value into your life, it just made me so much more productive, I guess, because I'm listening to something that is feeding my brain with some pretty useful information. Podcasts like the Huberman Lab podcast with Andrew Huberman, Diary of a CEO with Stephen Bartlett. You got Modern Wisdom with Chris Williamson. You got the Jack Neild podcast. You got the Iced Coffee Hour. You have all of these resources that are filled with such useful information on self-improvement, on life advice, on career advice, on really anything. There's so much advice out there, and just by listening to more podcasts, it just kind of helps feed my brain. It's a lot better than doom scrolling, I'll give you that. It's a lot more educational. It's not some instant gratification thing like TikTok is, scrolling TikTok. And it's very slow. TikTok Reels, it's very fast. You're looking for some cheap dopamine hits. But then with a podcast, it's long form, it's slow, it's steady. It's more in the moment, if that makes sense. Because you have to actually really sit down and digest what the podcaster is talking about, right? You have to actually process it. It takes time to think about what they're saying and to actually find the ways out. The lessons in the podcast can actually be applied to your own life. And I feel like I've taken a lot of nuggets, some little golden nuggets of just life advice, and just applied it to my life for the better. And that has been a pretty valuable use of my time, I'd say. And then the next question is, how can I find more time for this? I feel like I found a good amount of time for it. I feel like I listened to a little bit too much podcast. Um, but definitely I need to go on more walks. Normally I just walk in the morning. That's like been a staple in my routine this year, is just going on a morning walk, especially before the gym or even after the gym. I just go on a morning walk. It feels good. like really first thing in the morning, I just go outside without doing any kind of like grooming. I just literally go out. I literally wake up, take a piss, go out on a little walk, come back, and then I do everything. It just feels good. It wakes me up. But I think I could probably put more walking into my day. Like something I've been trying to do more recently is digestive walks, or just walks after eating. I think I should probably start doing that more. And then during that time slot, I could listen to more podcasts. So that's definitely a way that I could find more time. And so the next question is, who are the people that had the greatest impact on me? Well, definitely class of 25, my friends, and even some of the younger classes, class of 24, class of 23, the friends I made there. You know, people always ask the question, what is the meaning of life? And I think the meaning of life is people. I think people add layers of emotion and meaning into your life. So I think really just my friends, my family, those are the people that had the greatest impact on me. And the next question is, what did I expect to complete but didn't? Oof, there's a lot. But I think the main ones are posting consistently. I expected to post like every week. Did not do that. And the other is making online money. That's a goal I've been having for so long, since like 2023. I've had the goal of making online money. And yeah, I made some money off of crypto, off of meme coins, but it's not like, it was like at most like $100 I made in total off of meme coins. And like, sure, I mean, I guess you could say that I made online money, but it's not as much as I wanted. Like, I actually want to have a recurring income of online money. I'm not entirely sure how yet. I've tried a lot of these things that these online business gurus talk about. I haven't really seen success in that. And I figured out that most of it is low-key a scam. Most of it's just them trying to market their courses, market their coaching. But I think that does transition into the next question, which is this still an important goal of mine? If so, how can I make my future of me following through it more likely? Well, I think making online money is definitely something I do care more about still, but I think the means of doing it is what is going to change. Now, I think right now I'm not going to focus on, making an absurd amount of money. That's why I went into meme coins. That's why I went into crypto, because I literally know people that have made like $1,000, like 5 to 6 figures off of meme coins. Like, I know them personally. But it's one, the meme coin market is dying. Two, it's luck, bro. Like, I don't care what all these meme coin traders say. It's luck and it's gambling. I don't care what y'all say, bro. all of the people that deny that is just saying that just so they could market their freaking private trading group. But it's luck and it's gambling. Yes, there is some skill, but that skill is to put you in a position to where you actually get lucky, right? Luck doesn't come out of thin air. You have to put yourself in a position to get lucky. So, and that's where the skill comes in. All right, luck is skill based. All right. So, anyways, but my goal with making content isn't, or at least right now, is not to make money. All right. I don't expect to walk out with $1,000 every single video. I think right now, at this stage of my life, I'm really just making videos for the love of the game, right? It's fun, and I just want to have like an archive, a collection of what my life was at this exact moment in time, right? What's the date? The date is January 7th, 2026, right? And next year, 2027, I could look back at this and see what I was doing at this exact date. And that's just how I want to make my videos, like a little archive, a collection of my life, like a literal documentation of my life. That would be cool. Like, it's like a little time capsule. This channel is like a time capsule. And then the next question is, what are the least valuable ways I am spending my time? Definitely doom scrolling. Definitely TikTok, definitely Instagram Reels. That's the thing that has been killing my days. I spend so much of my day just scrolling, and it kills me. It actually kills everything. It kills my momentum for the day. Like what I said earlier on how going to the gym gives you momentum to win for the rest of the day. The second I go to open TikTok and Instagram, the second I spend more than like 5 minutes scrolling, that instantly flips the momentum to go the other direction, and I'm going down the momentum path of just taking L's, bro. So that's probably the one way that I have been spending my time in the least valuable, least productive way possible. And so moving on to the next question, how can I prevent myself from continuing to spend time in this way? Definitely, I have to just have some sort of timer, some sort of restriction timer on TikTok or Instagram. But the thing with Instagram is that because I have a Samsung, I have an Android. Yes, I know. You can make fun of me, but because I have an Android, I literally don't text no one on normal messages. Like there's maybe like 3 people that I text on normal messages, and they're mainly my parents. And like everyone else that has an iPhone, I literally text on Instagram. So it's so it would be hard to like put a restriction on Instagram because like that's how I text like 98% of the people that I know. But definitely TikTok needs some sort of timer. And then also another thing that I could do is to stop reaching for my phone as soon as I wake up. That's probably okay. So you know how I said that I like to wake up in the morning and go to the gym? Well, I would be going to the gym a lot more earlier if I didn't go to my phone instantly. Like I would wake up at 6 and I wouldn't get out of bed until 7 because I'm just scrolling on my phone. And it pisses me off because I know that's bad, but I still do it. Like, okay. So to actually fix that, something I've tried today and I'm gonna try to keep on doing for the rest of the week is to just charge my phone in another room while I'm sleeping. So I'm just charging my phone in the kitchen or the living room while I'm sleeping, just so I don't reach for my phone as soon as I wake up. And that would probably solve 90% of my problems, I'm not gonna lie. But the next question is, how have my goals or priorities shifted over the last few months? I think during school season, all right, I'm on winter break right now, but during the fall semester, I think my goals have shifted from making content, because that was when I was actually making content, to focusing on school more. Thus why I haven't posted in such a long time, because I've just been so focused on school. That's one. That was a huge shift for me. I think also right now, it's gonna sound super cringy, but with the whole like thing of looks maxing coming back, right? Becoming mainstream again on like TikTok, Instagram, right? Looks maxing is coming back. I have been on my looks maxing game. Come on, bro. Like, I know right now I'm chopped, bro. I'm like an LTN right now, sub 5. Like, bro, I'm cooked right now. But the ascension's coming, and I'm not afraid to say that publicly, because I do know you're not supposed to say your goals out publicly. But like what I said earlier, this is a documentation of my life. This is my public journal. So I don't really care what I say on here. All right. If I don't achieve my goals, that's on me. But that has been another thing that has become more of a priority within my life. All right. I have the gum. Keep chewing. No, I'm kidding. Then the next question is, favorite new friend. There's a lot, because on one side I have my new college friends that I met, and on the other I have friends from my high school that I literally just met this year, or that I just like started to become closer with this year. Because like what I was saying earlier, like there's people in my class that I just became friends with. That was, yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot of you guys that I just recently became friends with. So I can't really pinpoint just one. There's a lot of you guys. But my favorite quote, I think my favorite quote that I've heard this year from the top of my head is from, hold on, let me find him. This is a very random person. Well, he's not really random, but like the person that you would least expect a good quote would come from. But he's just like some crazy biohacker. And he had a quote in one of his videos. It's not the exact quote, but I kind of put my own kind of version to it. But he said, you have infinity to do nothing. So might as well do something with the finite time that you have on this earth to just do something meaningful, to do something impactful. And I think that was very powerful to me because I have realized that I do spend a lot of my time doing nothing. I'm just scrolling, and when I could be building something, when I could be creating something. So that's what I'm going to try and start to do. I think another quote that was powerful this year is actually on my phone, and that is, work so hard that it would be unreasonable for you to not be successful. I think that says enough. Moving on to the plan section of this yearly review. What would I do this year if I wanted to make 85-year-old me miserable? Doom scroll, skip the gym, not post, and not get good grades, and not hang out with my friends more. That's my 5. What would 85-year-old me wish I did more of? Post consistently, go to the gym consistently, get good grades consistently, and just live life to the fullest and be present in every experience. What are things I do to make my day go great? Gym in the morning, wake up early, eat clean food, no phone in the morning, and get some sort of productive task done. Whether it's recording, whether it's editing, whether it's doing homework, something productive. Something that moves the lever and gets me closer to the version of myself that I want to become. So definitely about that, yeah. What things make my day go terrible? The things I've been saying this entire time. Doom scrolling in bed, doom scrolling in general, skipping the gym, getting bad grades. What is productive that I don't realize? I think not using my phone first thing in the morning is definitely one. I have noticed that I feel like so much better, like 100 times more better when I'm not using my phone in the morning. So that is definitely something. Anyways, next is, what does an ideal day look like? I think an ideal day for me would look like wake up early, no phone, go straight to a walk, right? Eat something before the gym, have some pre-workout, eat some carbs, and then go straight to the gym, head home, get some work done. And then, I have school coming up, so probably school. I have work also, so work maybe. And probably after school, after work, just get some more work done, I don't know. But yeah, definitely as long as I get that first section of my day done, of walking, the gym, and then doing at least 1 to 2 hours of deep work every single day. I think that's my ideal day. What conversations do I need to have? I need to have a conversation with my family on buying healthier ingredients and healthier foods. That's a conversation that I need to have. I have to encourage them to eat more healthy. What are habits I'm committing to starting or stopping? Definitely not using my phone in the morning and putting my phone in another room while I sleep. That's one. Going to the gym more often, posting more often. I've said that more, or like I've said that before. I think also not using my phone in class. That is another thing that I have a really bad habit of, is using my phone in class. So I'm going to try to stop that. I also really want to meditate more. And that sounds super cringy, but it is something that I used to do back in like 2023, 24 maybe. Is that I did actually meditate. I did have a streak of meditating for like a month or two. So I want to bring that back because I actually do see some benefits. Something that I want to stop also is taking extremely long hot showers because it dries my skin, but it feels so good, but it dries my skin. And what's one more? I want to start to prioritize more micronutrients in my protein intake. So that's that. And for final thoughts, there's a final thoughts section. What would I have had to have happened by the end of next year for me to look back on the year and consider it a success? I think noticeable progress in my physique and going to the gym. I want to be able to look back at this channel and see consistent posts throughout the year. And I also want to look at my transcript and see all A's. Those three. And also my bank account. I would like to look at my bank account and see more money. And one last one would just be more recordings of going out with my friends. All right, so the next one is, who do I need to become for next year's chapter of my life story to turn out the way that I would want it to be written? Who do I need to become? I need to become a productive person. Someone who is able to block out distractions. Someone who's able to focus on the goals that he sets for himself and the work that he knows he has to do. That's the type of person that I need to become. Someone that has his priorities straight. That's a good simplification. And then the last question is, knowing what I know now, what advice would I give to myself 12 months ago? This one requires some deep thinking because actually, I would just say the same thing that I talked about earlier about to stop overthinking and to just take action. Like, that would be what I would say. And I feel like that's still is irrelevant to my life right now. And that's pretty much what I say to myself 12 months ago if I had the chance to, was to just stop overthinking and to just take action, because that pretty much applies to every aspect of life, I feel like. So yeah, that was my yearly review based on Chris Williamson's template. Thank you, Chris. Thanks for making a podcast that changed my life. But this is a super long video. The recording of just this section of me in this cafe is 52 minutes long. So there's a lot of editing that needs to be done. So yeah, I am just going to end it here. This was a good conversation. I feel like a good review on this year, my goals going into next year. Hopefully I actually live up to the expectations and goals that I set for myself. So I'm going to come back to this video next year, and you can come back to this video next year as well. Just see if I actually became the person that I said I was going to become. So with that being said, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.